80,000 hours. 80,000 hours. No, it's not how long Donald Trump has been president. It's not how long we have to wait for the next season of Game of Thrones. It's the average number of hours a person will work in their lifetime. 80,000 hours. Now here's the scary bit. 85% of people are either unhappy or very unhappy in their work. Just think about that. You spend a third of your lifetime doing something you want to escape from. It's a terrifying thought. The world is a broken workplace, and work just isn't working for us. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are lots of reasons why that's the case. If you're a white, cis man, then obviously you've got it pretty easy. If you're not, your experience in the workplace might be much harder. And also we have an epidemic of bad management. We are mismanaging talent, and we're doing it on an epic scale. And all of that is true. But that's outside your control. What I'm going to talk about is what's in your control. When you go to a restaurant to order a meal, typically we spend around 5% of our time doing that. Now, if you apply that 5% to the 80,000 hours that you're going to work, that means we should be spending about 2 years of our life choosing a career. 2 years. That's incredible. None of us do that, and I don't think any of us really have the time to do that, but I have 18 minutes to try and give you a framework to help choose a career. And we're going to do that by trying to value a career. And when you learn to value a career, you can build a career of value. But before we do that, I want to take us back in time to 2005. Crazy Frog was riding high in the charts. No one hated James Blunt yet. And Arsenal still had a decent football team. But when you close your eyes and go back to 2005 and just remember what you thought you wanted to do when you grew up. Right? Just do that for a second. Think what you want to do when you grew up, and guess most of you are around 7 or 8. Okay. Now raise your hand if you still want to do that career now. There's a few people. Very good, very good. Now raise your hand if you're embarrassed by what you wanted to do in 2005, or the thought of doing that is something that horrifies you. One person. Okay, look at you, that's very impressive. Good, that completely blows my third point out of the water. But let's ignore that and move on. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to talk us through some ways that we might measure and value careers. And hopefully, we're going to help to build a framework for you to build your career of value. So the place I want to start is a place that I think is pretty much safe territory. We're going to start with salary. We're going to start with the market. Because what the market values, well, that tells us what we should be doing. The market is a great way of indicating where value lies, right? So this is a list of the 10 best paid jobs in 2016. And there are some usual suspects up there. You've got engineers, you've got pilots, you've got brokers, chief execs. That figure's probably gone up now. So surely that's a great way for us to value careers, right? What the market tells us is willing to pay, that's a great way for us to assign value to careers. Hang about. If that's true, then how do we get to this situation? Mesut Özil on the left, who earns £350,000 a week, and a nurse to his right, who earns a tenth of that, a tenth of what he earns in a week, in a year. Maybe the market isn't working, and he's sucking his thumb. But that can't be good. No one who sucks their thumb should be paid £350,000 a week. That's just a rule. A second reason why salary isn't a great benchmark, a great metric for value in a career is because income and salary is often a proxy for prestige. And prestigious jobs are also what David Brainburner has called bullshit jobs. And they're called bullshit jobs because if they didn't exist, no one would care. Now, I'm not going to name any sectors here, corporate law. I think we all know people who are in jobs doing things. If they didn't do them, the world would not be a worse place. No one would really care if they didn't exist anymore. And there are lots of them. And Graeber's point is that they just keep growing. We're increasing the number of bullshit jobs, right? And in fact, we're starting to not value the jobs that aren't bullshit. The nurses, the teachers, professors. And the other reason why Graeber calls them bullshit jobs is because they're jobs where you have to leave your values at home. You leave your values at home because these are organizations that have no mission, that have no purpose. They exist only to enrich shareholders. So maybe salary is a terrible way to value careers. I'm going to argue there's also a third reason why salary is a terrible way to value careers. If you look at this chart, you'll see. Now, my argument isn't that salary is not important. My argument isn't that we don't need income. We all do. We all need a roof over our heads. We need food on the table. We need a bit of money in our pockets. But as you go up that curve, it plateaus. So after a certain point, and by the way, this is in dollars, so divided by 1.5 or whatever it is to get to pounds, our subjective well-being no longer correlates to our income. So you're working more, you're getting more stressed, but actually you're not feeling happier. So for all of these reasons, maybe salary isn't the place we have to look, and maybe the market cannot tell us where value lies. Okay, fine. You probably knew that anyway, right? You don't care about money, it doesn't motivate you. So let's move on to a source of authority. This is a US publication, it's called Career Class. And every year, Career Class comes up with a list of its top 5 jobs. Surely this is the place that we're going to get some expert knowledge on what and how we value careers. So let's look at number one list. Statistician. Sure. Medical services manager. Before you get excited now. Number 3, operations research analyst. Steady on. Number 4, information security analyst. Is it getting crazy now? It's getting crazy. These are clearly jobs that are far too exciting. Number 5, university professor. Damn right! The thing about this list is the way they came up with this was through methodology, where they basically looked at the relationship between stress and salary. So low stress, high salary at the top. High stress, low salary at the bottom. And in some ways it kind of makes sense, right? It means you have an easy life. You earn a lot of money, you don't get stressed. That's good. That's good, surely. The problem, I'm guessing from your reactions to this list of jobs, is that actually stress sometimes gets a really bad press. Now, some forms of stress aren't great. Your boss shouting at you, that's not great, right? Having a heart attack because of work, that's not great. But actually, stress can be really good for us. Yeah? If you lift weights, you know this. When you lift weights, what happens? You're putting your body under stress. When you put your body under stress, your muscles grow. Muscles don't grow in stasis. And we, as human beings, don't grow unless we are out of our comfort zones, unless we're under some form of stress. We need it to develop and realize our potential. So this is probably not a very good methodology either. And so this isn't a great way for us to value careers. Okay. So we've discounted salary, we've discounted low-stress jobs. Next on the list, I'm pretty sure, is it going to work? let's follow our passions. Let's follow our hearts. That has to work, right? That has to work. Let's go with our gut on what's right for us, things we really believe in. And maybe passion isn't the right place either. Let's think about jobs. And the thing is, the things that you're passionate about, so is everyone else. If you're passionate about music, so is he. If you're passionate about sports, so is he. Passionate about art, so is she. So when we follow our passions as careers, it doesn't often work because everyone seems to be passionate about the same kind of things. But maybe that doesn't work. There's another argument, and don't be horrified by this next image. Some of you know I'm passionate about Arsenal. I love Arsenal, everything about Arsenal, apart from Liverpool right now. But I'm not good enough to play football for Arsenal. I'm good enough to play for Spurs probably, because they're crap. But not Arsenal. But I could get a job as a groundsman at Arsenal. But would that really be career relevant? I don't think so. I mean, I look happy there, but I wouldn't be. That's really not me, by the way, in case you're confused. I'm not a groundsman. That's never happened. It would be a waste of my ample talents, obviously. So there are these two reasons. First is that occupations and passion don't always come together. And secondly, our passions aren't always relevant for careers. The third reason, I think, why passion is a bad place to start is because our passions change. Now, I know none of you have changed your minds about the job you wanted in 2005. I think you're lying, by the way. But our passions change over time. All these people change, right? Especially as we grow older, as we're children and we're adults, that changes. When you tip from your 20s to your 30s, that changes too. Also, I think the reason passion is in a very good place to value careers, a very good way to do it, is because it's all about us, right? Passion is about you, it's not about other people. And so when I think we reject salary, when we reject low stress, when we reject passion, we end up at a place which forces us to ask some really difficult questions. And I think it forces us to ask three really deep questions of ourselves. And these are the questions. What are our arbitrary values? So arbitrary values are the kind of the opposite of career values, CV values. We all know what your CV values are. You're punctual, you're conscientious, you work hard. Right? Your arbitrary values are what you want to be remembered for. That's completely different. That's hard to find out. Secondly, what you're good at. Again, something that's hard to find out. Why? Because we're scared to find out. Because when we find out what we're good at, we also find out what we're not so good at. It's actually really hard to know what our real strengths are. And lastly, what the world needs. Now, it's actually quite difficult to know what the world needs. It's easy to know what the world doesn't need. We don't need any more dating apps. We don't need more price comparison sites. And you know that, right? And yet still people go into these careers. They do. You know, in their thousands. So something isn't happening. They're not asking some questions about what they value. And to get to these places, you need to do difficult things. It doesn't come easy. You have to solicit feedback. And as I said, feedback can be scary because people tell us things we don't want to know. We don't like people telling us we're not good at things. We have to do deep reflection about our values. Again, that's not easy. You know, we run from this. We always run from difficult things. We run from confronting what we truly believe in. Right? And we don't want to ask what the world needs because that's difficult. That's not going with the flow. You know, the flow is taking us into price comparison websites. It's taking us into jobs in insurance. It's taking us into corporate law. So asking those questions is very hard to do. But once you've done that, I argue you end up with this answer. That the only real way to build a career of value is to become world-class at serving others. You have to look outside yourself. You have to do that. Now I know this is true because I speak from experience. I turned 40 in March. You're supposed to gasp, and that's the point in which you're supposed to gasp and say, how's that physically possible? You look about 25. Okay, try it again. I turned 40 in March. No, it's crazy. No, thank you. You didn't have to do that. Okay. I've been in higher education for a very long time now, about 12 years. And for me, academia was the easy option. It sounds perverse, right? It sounds really perverse. But I did my undergraduate like you, I did my master's, and I did a PhD, and I got scholarships. And it was the easy way for me because I didn't know anything else. And I was seduced by achievement. I did really well. So why did I need to think about anything else? And I didn't. And so I got my first full-time academic job. And everything was great, you know, I thought I was flying high, I was living the dream I had for myself. And about 2 years in, I started to kind of reach a crisis point. I had friends in Canary Wharf earning big money, I had friends in the development sector who were having great impact. And I was lost, I wasn't doing any of that. I didn't really know why I was an academic. Why was I lecturing? What was the point of my research? I didn't know. And it came to a point where I just wasn't sleeping and I became depressed. And I turned to my wife one day and I said, you know what, I think I'm going to have to quit. I can't do this anymore. Do something else. She said, you know what, just relax. Take some time off. So I did. It took about 2 weeks off, 2 weeks out of work. And after I got over my depression and the gloom lifted, I started to do all the things I'm suggesting you have to do to build a career of value. I asked the deep, different questions. I asked for feedback. So what am I really good at? I asked my friends and my colleagues. I did deep reflection on what I wanted to be remembered for. And I thought about what the world needed. In the end, bizarrely, I came to the conclusion that I was in the right place all along. Really, my purpose in life was help to serve students, to make them leaders for social impact. That was my mission. And since then, you know, I love my career. I'm happy to say I'm in the 15% of people who really love their job. And I really do. And I'm not world class at it yet, that's for sure. But I'm getting there. And I have a compass and I have a direction of travel. I know where I'm going. And I know why I'm doing it. Now, it took me most of my adult life to get there. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. And the truth is, these difficult questions about career, you have to answer at some point. And trust me when I say, it's better to do it when you're young than when you're older. Because when you're older, it's a lot more painful. As university students, you have great privilege and great responsibility. A responsibility to change the world, to give us the leadership we desperately, desperately need. But alongside that, I think you have a duty to yourselves to be able to look back on your 80,000 hours with pride and say, you know what? I served people. I made a difference. I wish you all the very best of luck in building your careers of value. Thank you very much.